Well, so anyway, the Zionists are riding high. I mean, obviously, today they've got Rishi Sunak, they got Keir Starmer, they're all saying the same thing, all praise Israel. And the Zionists think they've won. And I suppose they have won, because I was kicked out of my trade union for criticising Israel. I had a Rabbi Cohen, another friend of Rabbi Beck's. They've won, as far as they're concerned. But interestingly enough, they did a survey in May of this year amongst the British public, YouGov, if you've heard of YouGov, and they asked people, would you support Israel-Palestine? And 23% of the British public supported Palestine. And how many supported Israel? 10%. So the people support Palestine, the government supports Israel. Anyway, on that note, you can figure out that line later. So I'm allowed to introduce Rabbi Beck, and I'm so glad that he's come all the way from London, a 6-hour drive, to give us a bit of enlightenment about Judaism and why you have an issue with Israel. Do you want to come up and speak?
Hello to all the people that are gathering here. We know we come today in a very difficult time, a very bad situation, what's happened in Israel, in Gaza. Of course, everybody's heart is broken for the innocent people, innocent blood, what is shedding there. The only thing what we can say about it is to know exactly. We have to look deep into any problem to understand what is the core, what is the root of the problem here. The problem there isn't start yesterday, for 2 days ago. It started for 75 years ago, when the Zionists, really much more than 75 years since Zionism starting. The ongoing occupation for 75 years, of course, I cannot, not me, I think not anybody here, nobody justify killing innocent people. Nobody looks for bloodshed. However, what we have to learn a problem, what the problem is. The problem is the 75-year occupation, 75 years of killing people, killing innocent women and children. It's break out in some times. And this is what's happened for a few days ago. We hope and pray to God for the end of the whole problem, the end of all what caused the problem, what is the state of Israel. Of course, we are not looking for bloodshed. We hope and pray for a peaceful end, but we're looking and praying for a quickly peaceful end of the state of Israel. In the whole land, from the river to the sea, should go back to the right owners, which is the Palestinian people. I'm coming here, as I understand, as my friend Pete told me, for people want to understand why Jewish rabbis are against the state of Israel. It looks some fishy. All the Jews have to support Israel. They say, you land, why you don't support it? Even to do bad things, however, they say, you land, why you don't support it? So I will try to explain that of everything from the root, from the beginning. What is Judaism? I don't know the religion of all of you. I see some of you are Muslims, so they will understand better what I'm speaking about. What is the definition of a Jew? Judaism is not a race. Judaism is a religion. If you believe in the religion, you keep the religion, then you are Jewish. If you are not keeping the religion, you are not Jewish at all. I understand the Muslim people can understand that. If somebody called himself, I'm a Muslim already 20 generations, but I don't believe in God. But he will say, you're not a Muslim. You say, what? Of course I'm a Muslim. 20 generations. Yes, if you don't believe in God, you are not considered as a Muslim. Yes, it's very simple. The same thing is in Judaism. Judaism is not a race. Judaism is a religion. If you keep the religion, you are Jewish. If you go away from the religion, you are not Jewish. Now we come what that means Zionism. Zionism is built up by people what they don't believe in God. Correct? They are born by Jewish parents, but they lost the faith. They don't believe in God at all. They don't believe in God. So they look themselves, we are in exile. They don't believe in God. We Jews, we believe everything what's going on in the world, it's happened by God. Everything in the private life and in the whole world. And of course, if we were exiled of the land, this is made by God. We come back later to this point. But the Zionist people don't believe in nothing. They don't believe in God. So they're looking, we are in exile. We have to do something for that. What we should do? What should do the English people if they are in exile? They have to organize themselves and grab some land and organize themselves. This is what the Zionists is doing. Really, they don't believe in the Torah. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in the holiness. They don't believe in the holiness of the Holy Land at all. They don't need Israel at all. They just need a piece of land. And they have some plans how to get some piece of land. One of the plans was in Uganda. One of the plans was of Argentina. And they don't need Israel at all. They don't believe in the holiness at all. They don't believe in the connection from the Holy Land to the Jewish people at all. They don't believe in the Torah, how they get connected to that at all. They just took the state of Israel because they know that all Jewish people have very strong ties to the Holy Land. And they think when they will take the Holy Land, they will confuse Jewish people to take them into their agenda. Now, we Jews, we believe in God, we believe in the Torah, and we believe that God promised the Holy Land for the Jewish people. But, however, when you look in the Torah, it's written 36 times that the Holy Land was promised for the Jewish people only under certain conditions, if you keep a high level of life. And it's warned by God again and again, 36 times in the Torah. If you will not keep a high level of life, you will be exiled of the land. The same God what gave the land for the Jewish people, he will take it away from them. They will exile you. And that's what's happened at the end. If you look in the books of the prophets, especially Yirmiyahu, Ezekiel, Yeshayahu, you will see that God sent the prophets to warn Jews to repent, to come back, and if not, they will get exiled. And at the end, as you can see very clearly in Yirmiyahu, that God has exiled the Jewish people of the Holy Land. Jews at the time of exile, they exiled twice of the land. Both times, when you look in the books of the prophets, you can see that the Jews was physical, very strong. The problem was not the weakness. But if the will of God is to be exiled, then it can come a small fly and kill a big elephant. It will not happen. Nobody can go against the will of God. So, when it was the time what God wants to send the Jewish people into exile, they took away the land from them. One, and then after 70 years, they're coming back, and then it's happened the second exile. We Jews are believers in God, and we believe that everything what God doing is for our favorite. Everybody, what God runs with a person, if he's a believer in God, means he believes in God. In the good times, even in the bad times. It's so-called bad times, because there is no such a thing as bad times, because everything what God do is good. Could be it looks bad, but it is good. And I don't think that you have to be a Jew for that. Every believer means that you trust in God. If you don't trust in God, you're not a believer. What means trust in God? When you see it's good, you don't have to trust Him. But when you see, for your eyes it looks it's not good, then you have to trust Him. To go with God with blind eyes and to know that everything what God do is good. We Jews are in exile. We are not lost in exile. We know that God keeps an eye of us. He's watching of us. In all the situations going over of Jewish people, we know God is with us. I know this is hard to understand, especially what's going on for 80 years ago. It's happened, the Holocaust. 6 million Jews has been killed by Nazi Deutschland. And people say, what do you say? God have the eyes? Where is God at that time? However, we not lost our faith in God in any situation. If somebody have to go to the hospital and the doctor told them you have to go to an operation, very painful operation. It's a long procedure for months, very painful. And after that, he recovering. He going out of the hospital, what is doing? He go to the doctor, he told him thank you. He give him money. Why? He caused you so much pain. Because he knows, he believe that what the doctor do is for his favorite. The same thing. We going with God with blind eyes, and we know, we believe, we are 100% in that. We're giving away our lives for our faith. We know that everything what's happened with us is by God, and it's for our favorite. How? We don't understand, and we don't need to understand. When you told for your child, don't go on the street, and he doesn't care, he going. What is that? If you go on the street, I will beat you. I don't know why. Don't go on the street. He think you are such a bad person. Why you don't let me run where I want? But you understand, the small child don't understand nothing. The same thing, we are to God like a small child, if we have the full trust of God. Now, we are in exile. We are not lost. We are not lost. We are children by God. God looks after us. We have no problem. We believe that it will come a day when we will go out of exile. We will come back later to this point. And we are not lost. But the Zionists don't believe in God. So they are lost. They are in exile. We have to organize ourselves. Now, the Zionists think, what can we do? They know that if they come with their idea like it is, so this means this is a rebellion against the Almighty, nobody will listen to them. Nobody from the Jewish people will listen to them. So they try to do some tricks how they can bring in Jewish people into their agenda. One of the tricks is to take over the Holy Land. They know the Jewish people have very strong ties to the Holy Land. All the Jewish people. However, I myself, I feel also very strong ties to the Holy Land. Not to speak, I'm born in Jerusalem. I'm 7 generations in Jerusalem, and my whole family gone out. We don't want to live under the Israeli occupation there. Like tens of thousands of Jewish families has gone out of them since the creation in 1948 of the State of Israel. We are one of these families, and I have a big family for the remaining there. But I will never go back to the State of Israel. The only way to go back will be with a Palestinian passport. And it will come. It will come, 100%. We will come back to this point. However, yes. However, but we have strong ties to the Holy Land. Why? Because it's a holy place. We can pray there closer to God. We can be there closer to God. But these ties are spiritual ties. Zionism with Judaism is basically not the same thing, and it's one opposite the other. Judaism is based on trust on God, on believing God. And when God sent us in exile, we are staying in exile. Zionism is built up by people who don't believe in God, they don't trust in God. The same thing if God sent us in exile, and we taking the situation in our own hands, and we going out of exile by force, that means a rebellion against the Almighty. So you can understand that going out of exile by force is a rebellion against the Almighty. This is against the principle of the Jewish belief. This is against any belief. But everybody believes in God, should follow him. And when they're going out of exile by force, means they don't following God, they're going against the wish of the Almighty. This even the Zionists build a state in a free land. Especially when the Zionists doing that on the head of other people, by killing them, by robbing away the land of them, by oppressing them. Of course, this doubles and triples the crime much, much, much more. It's written in the 10 Commandments, don't kill, don't steal. But the Zionists is doing exactly the opposite to this. So you can understand that Jewish people and Zionism are completely two different things. Jews are believers in God, and Zionism are rebellion in God. They don't believe in God, and they're going against God. And against God, all the commandments of God. And as I said before, Jewish people all over the world, people looks like me, this type of people where you find people like that, they are almost against the state of Israel. As I said, most of them are against the state, anti-Zionist, and the rest, 95% of them, are at least non-Zionist. And the best proof of that is you can come in every concentrated Jewish place all over the world. Wherever you go, from New York to Australia, to Argentina, to Cape Town, to England, to France, everywhere in the world, where you see people like us, you won't find an Israeli flag in the whole area. Everybody is invited in my area in Stamford Hill. Can come over, I pay £100 for each Israeli flag you will find there. You will not find nothing. The same thing in the Jewish calendars. There is no mention on the Israeli Independence Day. Nothing. Completely not. The schools are the same, everything going on the same. Even the Jewish people in my area, they will ask him, what is today? No, a normal day. They don't know. They even don't know that it's a Zionist Independence Day. This is the fact. If you come over in Jewish areas, the Zionists call themselves Jews, but they are not Jews. Jewish people are people like me. People as you can see in London, you can see them in Manchester, you can see them in Gateshead. You can see them in many places in the world. All these people are against the state of Israel, rejecting very strongly the state of Israel. As more religious as you are, as more against the state of Israel they are. The Zionists have no right even to 1 centimeter of the Holy Land. The Holy Land should go back for the Palestinians from the river to the sea. We are not supporting a two-state at all. We don't believe in a two-state at all. I don't know if I may say it here in England, but it's free speech. It's an English country. I may say whatever I want. This is the law of the Torah. We have no right to rule even 1 inch of the Holy Land in today's day. We have no right to that. The whole land should go back from the Palestinians, from the river to the sea. And it's more than that. You can see the state of Israel is already 75 years. Now, just look in the history. How many states has been established in these 75 years? Many. Everybody have peace. Everybody have peace. The only land where there is no peace even one day is the state of Israel. What means that? That's the finger of God. God shows they don't have peace and they will never have peace. It's written in the Torah about similar situation. It's in Numbers 14, verse 41. For everybody who reads the Torah, they can look after that. A similar situation when God said for the Jewish people to stay in the desert for 40 years. And there was Jewish people but they say, no, we want to go up to the Holy Land to take it by force. Prophet Moses told them, why do you go against the will of God? You will not succeed. And the same thing is for today also. The Zionists, they're already 75 years. For some reason, God gave them the power, but they will not last forever. They will come to an end. The state of Israel will come to an end. I don't say that from the political point of view. Maybe my friend Dr. Azam Tamimi will say that from the political point of view. I say that from the Jewish religion point of view. Jews have a golden history in the Muslim countries. For centuries, we live in Muslim countries. Sorry, try not to hear that. Much better than in the other countries.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, we burned the Jews.
We live much better in the Muslim. Everybody knows the history, knows that. And I must tell you, even today, after 75 years of killing, 75 years of occupation, 75 years of blood, yes, go in any Muslim country, they are welcoming Jews. Any Muslim country, Morocco, Algeria, Tunis, Iraq, Iran, Yemen, everywhere you go, they're welcoming Jews. I myself, I was in Morocco. I must tell you, I didn't believe what I saw. I just passing the border from Spain into Morocco. Straight going over the border. Muslim people come to me, Rabbi, please bless my children. I couldn't believe it. After 70 years of bloodshed, what's going on here? What's going on here? They're completely not hatred. How can that be? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. But this is a fact, what I saw with my eyes. Everybody can see that. Jews have a golden history in the Muslim countries. The problem is not between Islam and Judaism. The problem is occupation. No difference if they're Jews, if they're Japanese, Chinese, black, white, no difference. The problem is occupation. And I see that many times I coming in Muslim communities, I speak in many mosques, in many universities, by Muslim communities. I'm always welcome. Always. I never see even any hatred from Muslims to Jews, because there is no problem between Jews and Muslims. We have very good life in the Muslim lands. I must say, I'm shaming myself. Even I'm not consider myself as a Zionist, but I know that the Zionist coming from the Jewish origins. I'm shaming myself instead to be so thankful for the Muslim people, for the so good hospitality in all the Muslim countries. What they're doing for the Muslims. They're killing them. They're robbing away the land from them. It's so shameful. It's really shameful. But I hope, and I'm sure, it will come the day that the state of Israel will come to an end. And it will go back to the Muslim people, and then Jews and Muslims can live together in harmony and peace in Palestine as Muslim citizens. And I must say, our rabbis visited many times already the leaders of Fatah and the leaders of Hamas. And they both declare, we have no problem with Jewish loyal citizens. As long as you haven't got aspirations to take over the land, you are welcome here in our land in Palestine. And we know that it's true. We know that it's true. And I saw that in my eyes, that even today's day, are Jewish people going to Morocco? He is welcome there. It's unbelievable. In Iran, there is a beautiful Jewish community of 30,000 Jews, and they have their own MP. Even in Iran, the rate of to have an MP is 500,000, but the Jews have their own MP in the parliament. There are Jewish institutes. I myself, I didn't was in Iran, but my father was in, or other rabbis, my colleagues was in Iran. They told me it's a beautiful Jewish life. There is no hatred for Jews. This is complete false Zionist propaganda. The Muslims want to kill all the Jews. They want to throw all the Jews into the sea. It's something like that. They're just making a big propaganda to bring in the Jewish people into their agenda. That even you are against Zionism, but if you are not siding with us, you will be killed by the Muslims. They want to kill all the Jews. This is completely untrue. This is why this is so important, events like that, to speak a Jewish rabbi with a Muslim imam together to show this is not the problem of the religion. This is a problem of occupation. Many people asking, Jews need a country. If not, they will be killed. What's going on there? Jews need, at the end of the day, Jews need a country. So the state of Israel is built up to save the Jews all over the world. To save the Jews in Israel, to save the Jews all over the world from anti-Semitism. My answer to that is, firstly, just take the two facts. What is the two facts? Has the Zionists saved Jews in the last 75 years? I can say, I live here in England, Jewish people live in New York, live all over the world safely. The only danger place for Jews, not to speak for Palestinians, for Jews, the most danger place today is in the state of Israel. I live here in England 36 years already. I don't know how an English soldier looks like. I never saw them. Oh, I saw them by the changing of the guards. But I never saw an English soldier. I don't know how it looks. That means a safe country. But in Israel, every small child of 2 years, knows how a soldier, tanks, weapons. This means safe. This is the most dangerous place for Jewish people. The most dangerous place. They're saving the Jews. They're just bringing in Jews into danger. And now give a look over the wall. They want to save Jews from anti-Semitism. Since the Second World War, anti-Semitism goes out of fashion. Yes, nobody can speak about, and if a politician say even one word about anti-Semitism, they are wiped off. Look what they do with Jeremy Corbyn. I know Jeremy Corbyn for many years. He's not anti-Semite at all. At all. I work with him together so many times. But they're taking out of context every word what they say. Anti-Semitism goes out of fashion. Who raising anti-Semitism in today's day? Only Zionism. Only Zionism. Look, I gone on the street. What's happened in Gaza? Unfortunately. Yes? I heard behind me, Hitler, Hitler. People speak, Hitler, Hitler, Hitler. Who caused that? Zionist state caused that. And as I said before, it's very painful what's going on in Gaza. Maybe Azam, my friend, will speak more about it. But we have to go every time in deep into the core, into the root of the problem. The problem was broke out in Gaza. This doesn't happen for 2 days ago. This happened for 75 years ago. When the Zionists took over the land, when they're killing the Palestinians, they're killing the women, the children from the Palestinians. Then it's happened what's broke out now the last 2 days. So the state of Israel is not in favor for the Jewish people, not in the Holy Land, and not all over the world. The best thing for the Jewish people is that the state of Israel should come to an end. It will come to an end. Our prayers is every time that we pray to God that the state of Israel should come to our end. Nobody looks for bloodshed. We pray for a peaceful end. Many people say that's impossible. Impossible. There must be a bloodshed when the state of Israel comes to an end. I will give you 2 examples, but you can see it's possible, a peaceful end. I don't know how many people of here remember the USSR. For 40 years ago? 30 years ago? 35 years ago, yes? It was such a strong power. Nobody can imagine that this power can disappear without killing even one person. And that's what's happened. Even not one single life has been killed. The second example is South Africa. I don't think anybody here remember that. There was killings in South Africa, but much, much less than people can imagine. So it can be a peaceful end. It can be. I would say, when our government, what they're giving so money, millions of pounds, what they're giving for state of Israel, the same thing the USA, but they're spending millions, billions of dollars to the USA. If they will spend only 10% of that to bring a peaceful end for the state of Israel, they will find a way. However, we pray to God for a peaceful and speedfully end of the state of Israel soon in our days, and then we can celebrate together in a free Palestine. I want just to add more one thing, what many people asking about our belief of the Messiah. Jews have a belief of Messiah. So they're asking, what's the difference between Messiah and between the Zionists? Okay, you say we are not allowed to take over Palestine, but tomorrow Messiah will do the same thing. He will kill all the Palestinian people, blah, 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 blah. What's the difference? In the same thing, people asking about the, I don't know how you call it, Hoek on the Dome? How do you call it? The holy place. The Hoek on the Dome?
Masjid al-Aqsa?
Yeah, Masjid al-Aqsa. If you believe in a third temple, how that can be, what will be there? The answer on that is, every time you want to understand something in Judaism, you have to learn it in Jewish scriptures. You can't imagine what you think Messiah will be and then to ask questions. Messiah will not be another Netanyahu. He will not be a killer of women and children. In the Jewish belief, Messiah is described as a poor man coming on a white donkey. We don't know what that means. A donkey, there are no donkeys today. We don't understand it. However, what is the description of Messiah? The description of Messiah is not somebody with big muscles, he will come over, he will take over the world. No, completely not. In our belief, Messiah means a prophet will come down and bring down much spiritual in the heart of people. Sorry for my English if it's not so good. In the heart of people. All the people will turn to God and serve the same God in harmony and peace. Me and you will not be on two sides of the coin. We will be on the same side on the coin. All of us will go up. Jerusalem will be the capital of the world, and all of us will serve the same God in harmony and peace. This is our belief in Messiah. There will be no wars. There will be peace between all the people who serve the same God. Of course, we Jews, we believe this will be on the Jewish way. The Muslims believe it will be on the Muslim way. The Christians believe it will be on the Christian way. Okay, let's wait and see. The problem was never the belief between Jews and Muslims. The Muslims knows for all the centuries that Jews have a messianic belief. And they have no problem of that. The problem is not the belief, because let's wait and see. The problem is when you force other people, when you occupy others' lands, you take over others' lands, you're killing other people. This is the problem. Not the belief is the problem. In the same thing about the Masjid al-Aqsa? Aqsa, yes. We believe in the third temple. However, what is our belief? And you look in the Jewish scriptures, we believe it will come down a third temple built in fire from the heaven. Now, you understand it? No, I'm also not. How can we serve God in a temple of fire? We don't understand it. Let's wait and see. We will see what's happened. We don't know how it's happened. Everything, we give it away for God. And we will follow God. Not only me. Everybody of us wants to follow God. He will follow God. You believe on the Muslim way. I believe in the Jewish way. He believes in the Christian way. Okay, let's wait and see. Not the belief is the problem. The problem is the occupation, the killing. That we have to take in mind. And not to confuse the religion into the political problems. What's going on here? One thing more, what I say, and I finish with that. People asking, what means that the Jewish people are chosen people? What is that chosen? You are the kings, everybody the slaves. I know the Zionists using this waste money time. So I want to clarify what it means, chosen people. First thing, we believe that God, we are chosen people, as I believe that the Muslims believe that they are chosen people, and the Christians believe that they are the chosen people. However, but not God didn't choose the race. He chose the religion. I believe that the Muslims believe also the same. Everybody what converts to Islam, he's the same Muslim as somebody is born Islamic. I believe like that. I'm not sure. Sorry, I don't know the religion. The same thing. Everybody what believes, what convert to Judaism, he is the same chosen as me, what I'm born Jew. So this is not a chosen race. This is a chosen religion. So there is nothing to be here to say the Zionists are completely unbelievers. They don't believe in God. So they are not chosen at all. They are against God. Chosen people is not means we are the kings and the other are the slaves. Chosen people means, I believe that Islam is very similar to that. And maybe the Christians also, I'm sorry, I never learned that. However, but chosen means God chose this way of life in save for people. If you want to be close to God, serve me on this way. Not we are the kings, you are the slaves. No. But God chosen a way of life. This is the right way how to live the life. That means chosen people. But if somebody going away from the religion, somebody going away from the way of God, like the deity Zion is doing, they are not chosen. They are chosen to go to hell. Hopefully soon. However, I want to end in a very clear statement. The statement is not for me. The statement is from the Torah and from the Torah Jews. In this statement you can hear from all the Jewish people what are believers in God. All people looks like me. The state of Israel is a rebellion of the Almighty and that should come to an end. We pray for a peaceful end. Nobody looks for bloodshed. We pray for a peaceful end. But the state of Israel will come to an end. From the river to the sea will go back to the Palestinian people, 100%. And then we, all of us, will celebrate in Palestine a free Palestine. Thank you.
So Azam Tamimi is from Al Hiwar TV. He's a doctor and he's written many books. We've got his book over there about Hamas, a really good book. I've got a couple of books about Hamas. A total eye-opener if you're interested, and you should be, especially about what's going on. You can read about them in Azam's book. I think you can still get it. Have a look at it later. Thanks.
I agree with almost everything you said. And to sum up, really, the conflict in the Middle East, the conflict in Palestine is not a religious conflict. It's not between the Muslims and the Jews. How else can we explain that for at least 13 centuries, Jews lived with the Muslims across the world with no problems? The problem came from Europe. Europe had a problem with the Jews. Europe hated the Jews for a variety of reasons. Because of religious reasons, because of racism, because of whatever. Envy, maybe at times. As a result of the persecution of the Jews in Europe, especially the pogroms that started in Russia and then the Dreyfus affairs in France, followed of course by the Holocaust, as a result of this, a small movement among secular Jews grew up to be a global trend, Zionism. And Zionism initially was hated and rejected by the majority of the Jews around the world. Only when Hitler burned the Jews that an increasing number of Jews started accepting Zionism. I once had a debate with a rabbi in London, and I said this to him, and he said, yes, you are right. Until Hitler came, we believed the rabbis, and we did not believe the Zionists. But Hitler convinced us that the Zionists were right and the rabbis were wrong. It is regrettable that even some of the misconceptions among the Muslims about the Jews came also from the West, not from Islamic literature. For instance, take the fake document, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. It's a fake document. It's a document written by someone associated with the Tsar in Russia, with the Orthodox Church in Russia, who were fearful of the coming events, of the revolution that they saw was coming, and they wanted to blame the revolution on the Jews. So they wrote down this document, which is a very silly document, in which it is alleged that a chief rabbi is talking about how evil the Jews are. I mean, imagine. This, unfortunately, was translated into Arabic, as it was translated into so many languages, and it coincided with the emergence of Zionism in Palestine, and some Arab nationalists, and later on even some Islamists, found it convenient to explain the conflict in terms of a Jewish conspiracy. There is no Jewish conspiracy, it's nonsense. But there are imperialist interests. The imperialist powers, which wanted to rob the nations of Asia and Africa and Latin America of their wealth, used Jewish conspiracy even to frighten people and to justify what they were doing. Until Zionism became quite convenient for the British Empire to use as a functional community, to be planted in Palestine, to act as a dagger in the heart of the Ummah. Because after the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, after they defeated and destroyed the Ottoman Empire, they wanted to make sure that the Muslims would never stand on their feet again. This is it. This is it. Get rid of the Jews because they didn't like them. Use them at the same time as a colonial outpost in order to keep the Ummah paralyzed. And what we saw in Gaza yesterday, or the day before and yesterday, and we continue to see today, and we'll probably see for many days to come, was expected. If you come and invade somebody's country, and if you turn them into slaves, if you put them in an open prison, and if you put them under siege, and if you control when they can have electricity and when they cannot, if you control when they can have water and when they cannot, if you control when they can have milk for their children and when they cannot, do you think they can take it forever? They will remain silent forever? There will be an explosion. And this is the explosion that we saw the day before yesterday. So many people warned the Zionists against this, warned the Americans who blindly support the Zionists. They warned them of the potential catastrophe that can result from all this injustice. But of course, these politicians, they don't care. They don't care about human rights. They don't care about humanity. All they care is about their positions, about their finances. They want to continue to produce arms and use these arms and experiment them on other people around the world. And this is what they're doing. So you see, the conflict in Palestine, it should be remembered, is not between the Muslims and the Jews. And you cannot really see a rabbi and a Muslim agree more than we do. And remember when I met Rabbi Wise for the first time, when he was invited by Al Jazeera to appear on their program with Ahmad Mansour, and I was asked to translate for him. And Ahmad Mansour told me that he received messages from so many people saying to him, this cannot be a Jewish rabbi. This is probably a Hamas member disguised as a rabbi, because he is saying exactly what Hamas is saying. Truth is truth. Justice is justice. These are absolute values. They don't change. If you believe in justice, if you believe in equality, if you believe in humanity, whatever your religion, whatever your race, these are absolute values. They are not relative. They don't change from place to place or from time to time. And that's why we agree on these things. And I think what we need to really look ahead for is a global movement to awaken the world to see the dangers of Zionism and the supporters of Zionism. Zionism is the most evil thing that exists on the face of the earth today. And those who support Zionism are as evil as the Zionists themselves. People like Biden, people like the Prime Minister of this country, and the current leader of the Labour Party, all these hypocrites across Europe who stand in support of Zionism against the Palestinians are actually fueling the war, fueling the conflict. And there's something amazing here, is that anti-Semites and Zionists love to go to bed together. You always find them in bed together. Look at the extreme right-wingers across Europe. They are supposed to hate Jews, but actually they love Zionists. They do hate Jews, but they love Zionists, because Zionism and anti-Semitism go hand in hand, although, of course, the Zionists use the designation of anti-Semitism to silence people whenever people dare to speak the truth. I don't want to take much of your time. It's quite getting late, but I would encourage you and ask you to encourage others to read about the history of the conflict. The facts are there. Just read about them. I remember once I was speaking at King's College, and I mentioned the fact that the Jews of Iraq were driven out of Iraq not by the Arabs, but by the Zionists. And there were 2 Jewish students sitting in the hall. And they said, liar, liar, this never happened. And then a professor of history stood up and said, don't say this. Tamimi is saying the truth. Just go to the library and read. Just go to the library and read what happened to the Jews of Iraq. And I recently interviewed Professor Avi Shleim after the publication of his memoirs. Excellent memoirs. I really strongly recommend that you read it. Memoirs of an Arab Jew. He explains how his family was driven out of Iraq. They were members of the most ancient Jewish community in the world that remained in Iraq since Babylon, the times of Babylon. It was the Haganah, it was the Mossad that orchestrated the attacks on synagogues, that distributed leaflets claiming to be written by Arab nationalists, intimidating the Jews and frightening them out of Iraq, because Israel could not stay on, could not continue without a population, and they desperately needed a population. So they needed the Jews of Iraq, they needed the Jews of Yemen, they needed the Jews of Morocco, they needed the Jews of Europe. They needed Jews from everywhere, because without a population, they could not continue to seize the land. Our story is a very long story, but frequently in the media, it is only told very briefly. Or instead of telling you the story from 1870, for instance, where it started in Europe, they tell you the story from what happened the day before yesterday, about what Hamas is doing to the Israelis, etc. Why Hamas came to existence? Okay, we need to read about this. Who are Hamas? What are they? Did they come from Mars? Or they came from Jupiter? They are the people of the land. They are the natives of the land. They are the ones, probably you saw some footage when some of the young men of Gaza crossed to Palestine. They started weeping. They were saying, this is the land of our ancestors. We've been denied this land for 75 years. They are the victims. It's not the Zionists who are the victims. It's these Gazans who are the victims. So really, it's a question of knowing. It's a question of knowledge. And it's about time that we educate ourselves and educate our children about the truth of the conflict in Palestine. Thank you very much.